Welcome to episode 6 of Box Score Sports. I'm your host, Austin Berge. To the right of me, I got the mouthy sophomore, known man guy named Mueller. We have Walker next to him, Lance and Grayson behind the mic. And we got a special guest, the new BB boys basketball head coach, Coach Rambow, will be joining us. We got Coach Rambow, the boys basketball new head coach. Thanks for
coming on.
It's good to be here. Number one fan. Watch this every time you guys put it out.
I'll start it off. Your last name's Rambow, and your family, you've grown up being a part of the family that founded Rambow. What's that been like?
So, one of the misconceptions is my dad did not found Rambow. It is actually my uncle, so it is my uncle's business. My dad, two brothers, one's part-time, one's full-time, and a cousin all work there. I've never worked there. I shouldn't say that. I've worked there part-time jobs in the summer, but nothing serious. I've worked in the back production-wise, but I've never been a salesman or a front office guy by any means, so just summertime jobs. What else did you ask?
Well,
just about it, or?
Yeah.
You
didn't work there, but.
No, I think the biggest thing with growing up around Rambow is the amount of stuff that you see that is Rambow, and everybody's first question is it weird to see, like, New London's jerseys all have Rambow on it? It's like, is it weird to see that? And to me, it never was. I could kind of separate, who I am versus the Rambow company itself, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's, I don't know, it's probably a little deeper than it needs to be for this podcast, but it does make you take pride in your last name. When you are a Rambow, you're growing up in that area, the people's first, thought is Rambow the company, but then when you're out in public or if you're playing, it is important to keep a good thought on that last name for the company and for yourself. So, I don't know, growing up with that'd be basically it, is just understand that it is a big name in that area for certain people.
Were you in a lot of high school sports?
I played football when I wasn't hurt, so I got hurt a lot. Played basketball and baseball.
What was your favorite?
So this might surprise people, but I like playing football more. I'm more of a basketball guy. But when you only have 8 football games a year and you prepare all week for that one game, those 8 games are important. They're special. It's special. It's more people. You're involved with the wrestlers. You're involved with the kids that don't play basketball or wrestle. It's just there's more kids involved in it. It was more special to me to play football than basketball. I was better at basketball. I was a lot better at basketball than football, and then baseball, which is probably going to be a bad answer in this area too, was my third sport. I wasn't that big into baseball.
Being that you were a 3-sport athlete, do you think that helps kids prepare in the long run?
I think that 100% helps kids prepare, not only physically, but I think it actually helps them prepare more mentally. So, like I said, for me, my prime sport, my best sport was basketball. So I was used to being the guy in basketball. And then football, I was very average. I was an average receiver. So going from football, where people aren't looking to you to do much, and then going to basketball, where you are expected to do much, and then going to your third sport, I think that's the biggest thing is it helps kids, flip the role of now I'm quote-unquote a role player versus now I'm the star player. How's your mindset on that? How do you change from that? How do you go from being the guy to being a role player? How do you lead differently? How do you accept leadership differently? In basketball, like I said, my junior year and my senior year, I had a different role than I did in football and than I did in baseball. So it was important for me to figure out what that was, how to act, how to treat my teammates differently. In my winter sport, I probably had to talk a little differently than I did in my fall sport. And so on. So I think physically, yes, that's going to be the number one. Everybody says being a multi-sport athlete helps your conditioning. Football, physicality-wise, will help you in basketball. wrestling helps you in football with your tackling, which, again, I obviously get it's physical. But I think one of the big parts is mental, too, is understanding the roles, understanding where you are, understanding the dynamic of each team. So, yes, it helps being in multiple sports for multiple reasons.
It's a lot.
Yeah, did you play any sports in college?
I went to Valley City State, North Dakota, and played there for 2 years. Valley City is an NAIA school that I had never heard of before. I went to a Comet Shootout showcase the end of my junior year, and that's actually when I started getting recruited out there. Chose them over some other schools for a couple reasons. So I actually went out there, played 2 years of basketball, wasn't liking it. Transferred to the University of Morris to hopefully play more. And then the Friday before Monday's official practice, I broke my ankle. So I never actually played at Morris. Was going to give up basketball. Went back to Valley for my 4th year now. Some things that happened when I was gone. And I ended up playing my 4th year again, which was by far my best year. That's when I really bought into who I was. I understood my role. I understand where I was on the team at that time. So I played my 4th year there. So I played 2, broke my ankle, played my 4th.
Being that you were a player at one time, did that help your mindset or change it now being a coach?
I think having going from high school where I was okay, I had that mindset, and then going to college where I had a completely different role, and then my second stint having another completely different role. I would think that's what helped me with coaching the most is understanding that players are at such different levels and you expect such different things from players. Like you're going to have these top players and then you're going to have your role players, which are just as important, which is where I fell in, my 4th year. And then you're going to have some other players that are just, they're trying to find themselves. So I'd say for me, playing, being at those different levels that's what helped me with coaching is understanding that not everybody's at the same spot. That's why there's just different levels, and I was on all 3 of those different levels at one point. So that's the biggest thing as a coach is understanding that there's different parts to a team.
What inspired you to be a coach of all these sports you are?
I don't have a specific thing that inspired me. Like, it wasn't like I just woke up and I was like, I'm going to be a coach. It's something that I've always wanted to be. My family was huge into sports. I was fortunate to have parents that got me exposed to sports at a young age. They would take me to a bunch of different games, a bunch of different college games. And it was just something, like I said, I've always kind of wanted to be a coach and a FIA teacher. People had asked me, when did you want to be a coach, when did you want to be a teacher? And I could go, all the way back to junior high. I knew that's what I wanted to be. You get around such different games, such different levels of games. It's something I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to be a part of the big games. I wanted to be a part of the big crowds. That's why I went to college to play, to be a part of that atmosphere. It's why I wanted to continue to coach, to be a part of that atmosphere. So I don't think anything inspired me. I could answer it in a nice way and say my dad inspired me, but...
You didn't want to get away from sports, basically.
Right, right. In a short answer, my life's always been sports, and I want it to continue to be sports.
So now that you're the boys basketball head coach, what's the transition from girls to boys like?
I don't know if the transition from girls to boys is that dramatic, but the transition from assistant to head coach is very dramatic. And that's kind of what's been my biggest eye-opener right now is the amount of work that is done behind the scenes to make sure that your players and teams are ready. But as far as from girls to boys, a lot of the stuff that I did on the girls team was just coach. Coach Anderson and Coach Brittany, they took care of a lot of the girls stuff. So I just coached basketball. I didn't have a lot of that other stuff. So I'm still just coaching basketball on the boys' side, and I'm sure they're going to have their moments too and drama and all that stuff, but I never really had to take care of it. But then, like coaching football, it's not like I've never coached boys before. So I'm coaching a lot of the same kids. There's a handful that don't play football, but it's a lot of the same kids. I've coached boys 3 other times, so It's not completely brand new.
Experience.
What are you gonna be, or what are like your goals for this season coming up?
I don't have any, and I was telling the players this at the meeting the other week, because I don't really have any win-loss goals or your typical conference championship, section championship, any of those goals. I'm a firm believer in a day-by-day process where that would be my goal, is if we can continue to get better each day and don't go backwards, I think we'll be just fine, and the rest of that stuff will just figure itself out. You know, I have no idea. I don't know any of these conference teams. We're playing from the boys' side. I don't have any, I don't know. So I have no idea where realistically we can be with a win-loss record. I know from where we started at on Monday to where we finished on Wednesday this last week, we've already improved. So, you know, that's my goal, is if we can continue to do that, the rest of that stuff will just figure itself out. But I don't have any, you know, deep win-loss goals. We got to do this, we got to do that. I think that stuff all figures itself out if you do it the right way.
It'll be a fun year. How do you prepare yourself and all the players for games in the year upcoming?
I don't know. So we'll do, you know, you have your scouting reports, like that stuff doesn't change. I'm trying right now to get them exposed to as many different things as possible. I know practices can seem overwhelming at times because we'll go from offense to defense and then to zone and then to a press and then to our plays. So, you know, trying to throw as much stuff out there at them right now as we can as a staff to hopefully we'll go in scrimmage on Saturday that won't be the first time they see it. So trying to expose them to as much stuff as possible. Like I said, when we get on through the year, when you watch film, when you scout teams, it's a lot easier to prepare for each team. But as far as right now, you know, the scrimmage on Saturday and our first game on Saturday, it's a new year, so I don't really know how to. You guys just got to expose them to everything, expose you guys to everything, and then hopefully, if whatever team throws something out at us to start, we've already seen it.
It's going to be a fun year.
I hope. As far as how I prepare for games, I go get an energy drink and get locked in.
Go to the local stores.
Yep.
Well, we got a game that there's going to be silhouette NBA players doing jump shots, and you got to guess who that person is.
Colby.
Yeah, it's definitely Colby.
That's right. Who's that
Katie.
first?
Katie.
I can't.
Is that Ant? No, I don't know. No, looks like he's got an afro, kind of.
Joel.
Is that ball?
Oh.
LeBron.
Kelly Oubre.
Michael Jordan.
Jordan's never had braids or whatever they are.
Looks like an afro, kind of.
You guys got a better view, I can't see.
Scotty Barnes. Yeah, I don't know. You got a hint, Walker?
Yeah. He went to Kentucky to play college.
Cat.
Yep.
It's Cat Shot.
I did not think Cat had hair like that.
Shaq.
Yep.
Harden.
Yep.
Oh.
That's it.
Bro, just.
Oh, no.
Well, that one had to be easy. That's a lefty.
Yeah.
We'll get him next time. Well, that's all we got. Thanks
Yeah.
for being on.
Thanks for
Thank you
coming.
guys.
Good luck this year.
When do I get the Box Score Sports merch?
I don't know.
Rambo's got to sponsor us first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.